Hi everybody, I put this little video together for you to kind of explain the weekly kindergarten planner that I put together as a free printable for you. And I want to kind of go through it. It's a little bit difficult to explain on the blog, so I thought I would just jump on here, show it to you, and explain to you how I make it work and why I designed it the way that I did. So here it is. This is our Homeschool weekly kindergarten planner. And as you can see, I'm showing you my copy. So this is the version that I have completely customized for my child right now, for Hunter. Okay, so he is going to be doing a lot of things that maybe your kids are not doing, or maybe they are. But for the sake of this video, I just want to show you how I use it with some good examples. So I'm using this. The one that you have at your disposal, you can customize and you can add your subjects in, you can add your loop schedule, your field trips, and all of that, and you can add your child's name and all of that. So just to get started, I do want to tell you though, this planner is designed around the way that our family works. So our family is more of a routine family as compared to a schedule family. So by that, I mean, you can't really pin down any one point in time during the week, say Monday morning at 10 a.m. What are you doing then? What are you teaching your kids then? I have no idea what we will be doing at that exact time every Monday morning. I do try to stick to a routine, but a lot of time that routine gets completely thrown out of whack. And the reason that is because my husband and I are both realtors. And so we have a very unpredictable schedule. Whether we're out showing houses or at listing appointments, one of us or both of us, it's really hard to predict. Obviously, we know when closings are, but the closings are not the most frequent thing that we do. So that being said, we don't know if we're going to be having a family dinner one night, or we're going to be bumping that up and having a family breakfast based on what one or both of us has going on that day. So for that reason, we stick more to a routine than a schedule, and that relieves the stress and the burden that we both feel, and helps us to feel happy about what we're doing and feel successful in what we're doing, and not trying to emulate someone else who's maybe more of a schedule family who has a very nice, tight schedule going for their kids. Hopefully this works for some of you, and if it doesn't work for you, go in, make whatever changes you want, or take the idea and run with it and tell me what you do to it. I would love to hear your feedback and how you've changed it or how it does or doesn't work for you. But I just wanted to share this because I had to create it for myself, and so I thought somebody out there might benefit from it too. So I'm going to go ahead and show it to you now. Basically, this is intended to go into a page protector for me. That's what I do with it. You may want to just print out 52 of them, or how many school weeks that you actually intend to have. Whatever the case may be, what I do is I put it in a page protector. I have a wet erase marker that I use. This is my pencil, but I usually use a wet erase marker in my page protector, and I just have one of these that I'm using unless I edit it throughout the year. And then I go ahead and with the wet erase at the beginning of each week, put the date at the beginning of the week there. And then at the top, I have days this week, days school year to date, hours this week, and hours school year to date, in case you need to track those. I don't have to track all of those, but I like to anyway, just to keep track of what my kids are doing and how they're progressing and how much we've accomplished so far. So you need to be aware of what your state requires. In Colorado, there are a couple of basic options for homeschoolers. One of them is that you could file a notice of intent with your county school district, or the other is that you could homeschool under an umbrella school like Christian Home Educators of Colorado Independent School, Check IS, which is what we do. And in that case, they give us a little one-page sheet that we fill out throughout the year saying how many days we homeschooled, and I don't have to track all these hours. There are other requirements that they have, but I don't have to track the hours. It's just something that I like to do to stay on course. So that's the top of this section. And then if you look at the main body, you will notice all of these blocks. So let me tell you what these blocks are. I have 10 blocks, and they cover my essentials and my extras in terms of my subjects. So you may want to just put essentials, or you may want to put all of your essentials and all of your extras, depending on how you have those categories. But this is what works for us. And I have them set up according to the way that I think about them and according to the curriculums that we use, how they're kind of set apart. But you'll notice that each block is categorized. They will not be on yours. You can customize those yourself, but these are the ones that I'm using. I've also got each block separated into a grid based on how long each lesson usually is for that subject for us. So for reading, you'll see I just have it separated into 2, and that's because each time we do a reading lesson, it's usually about 30 minutes, or each time we sit down and read a book, we usually spend about 30 minutes reading. And so I've separated into 2 because each one of these blocks is intended to represent an hour. So at the end of the day, I usually come in and look here and mark down what we did each day. If I spent 30 minutes doing reading with them, I will mark just half that block off for reading and move on to the next one. I do it at the end of the day, or else I tend to forget and get caught up in things and not remember, did I already mark Bible for today or did I not mark Bible for today? So you can do that however you want. That's just how I have found that it works really well. But you'll notice that each one of my blocks is separated differently. Math is separated into 20-minute segments. Writing is separated into 15. We struggle a little bit with staying on task and getting people to do writing. So our writing lessons are a little bit shorter, and every family is different. So I encourage you, use the blocks and separate them the way that you see fit, or don't separate them all. Use it however you would like. I also have lines under each one of the blocks so that you can go ahead and make notes on what curriculum you are using if you'd like to, or specific notes about it, perhaps a unit study that you were working on. Whatever the case may be, you've got lines there to add additional notes. And I've also included a check mark box, and I like to use that for work product. So if we're doing, for instance, this semester we're doing a kindergarten unit study on dinosaurs. And for that unit study, we're going to be creating a lap book. So at the point when we actually start putting that lap book together, and that may be for a number of weeks if we take a longer time to produce it, I'm going to check that box and write that I produced a lap book. Same thing if a field trip produced something. You can check those boxes and go ahead and write what it is that you produced, and then file that away wherever you want, or scan it in, whatever you do to keep those items or keep record of those items. In addition to that, you can do that, but this will give you a reference for when it was done if you want to look back on that for any reason. Also, being a routine family, you probably have heard of loop schedules. So this helps me not have to use a loop schedule so much, but some people really like loop schedules, and I do find it helpful to look at and kind of just keep going on autopilot if, it's the beginning of the week and I'm not looking for, what gaps do I have or something like that. So a loop schedule is going to be something that you go through cyclically, and you can list multiple subjects multiple times, such as like if you look here, I've got science listed twice because I want to do science a little bit more than maybe I do shop. And yes, I have shop on there even for my kindergartners, because if you know anything about me and my husband, we are project oriented, and he is a very handy man, and they do a lot of projects together. Even the kindergartners, preschoolers, toddlers like to get involved in our house. So we have shop, but we do prioritize science over the shop still. So I've got it listed twice in my loop schedule. So you can throw a paper clip on the side of your page protector or your sheet, whatever the case may be. And as you work through this loop schedule, as you get to things throughout the week, if you're more of a routine family, just slide it down to the next one. And then you know what you need to do next if it's something that's more of your extra category versus your essential subjects such as Bible, reading, writing, math, those sorts of things, which are pretty typically your essential categories. I also have a section here. You can see what I've listed as our field trips and lessons, but you can put whatever in that you want to accomplish throughout that semester or throughout that year in that list. So I have certain museums that we want to hit, a zoo that we want to hit, other places that I'd like to take the children to, and lessons that I would like for them to have throughout the year, like swimming, ski lessons, those sorts of things. So I will list them there so that I just have them always in front of me, and then you can pop them into an empty block that you have, or do whatever you need to document when you actually do those things. So basically at the end of the week, you are going to have a lot of this blocked off. You're going to visually see what subjects you've spent a lot of time in. And for me, that's super helpful to be able to see that without having to go in and spend a lot of time thinking about it. We're, as I'm sure you are, very busy around here, and spending that time almost is prohibitive sometimes. And that sort of administrative task sometimes scares people away from homeschooling. And so this was super helpful to me to not be intimidated by it and to not be overwhelmed by it. And so when I came up with this design, I really felt like this is manageable. And so far it's been working really great, and I hope it works great for you too.